Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan also spoke on the blast in the state and said he is shocked to hear about the blast and extended his condolences to the kin of the deceased. The incident took place at a Jehovah's Witness convention at the center in Kalamassery, about 10 kilometers away from Kochi, and the prayer meeting was attended by nearly 2,000 people is what we are learning.
Right now we have 10 patients in the burns ICU, of which 2 are in ventilator and 1 more is critical. The rest everybody has been given adequate treatment.
All right, Xavier Rodriguez, founder and editor of the Goa Chronicles, is joining me on the broadcast. He's also a BJP leader. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, defense expert, with us on the show as well. Mr. RVS Money, security expert, is joining us on the program as well. Savio, if I can begin with you, thank you for joining us. I hope you can hear me.
I can.
Savio, will it be right to say, when it comes to a terrorist attack in Kerala, in a traditional or a colloquial sense, framing, the sentence would be that the writing was on the wall for the security agencies to predict something like this, because, there were always telltale signs that Kerala was in fact going for something like this, but we did not know that this was going to happen so soon.
See, Vinny, it's important to understand why Kerala is going to have a lot of incidents revolving around communal clashes, terror activities over the next coming months and years. That is because Islamic radicalism has been allowed to be permeated and grow in Kerala. Now, you had a very large rally, a pro-Palestine, which was pictured as a pro-Palestine rally in Kozhikode, but it was really about supporting Hamas's interests. Now, we have to clearly differentiate, and this is what many people are making a mistake in India. There's a huge difference between what Hamas wants and what Palestine wants. In fact, if you want to protect the interest of the people of Palestine, you need to ensure that Hamas is eliminated. Hamas is a terror organization. The concerns of the people of Palestine are real. And that is what Israel and Palestine have been working on for a very long time. So yesterday also you had a Hamas leader come on through video conferencing and address the people in what was a pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas rally. Now, Islamic radicalism, there's one question that I kept pondering after October 7th as to why did Hamas attack and then retreat back to Gaza. The whole idea stems from one simple reason. Hamas did not want to wage a war with Israel. Hamas wanted to stir Israel towards attacking them back again, so that there is a war that happens in the entire Arab nations. And that war percolates to the rest of the world. You are seeing protests, pro-Palestinian protests, pro-Hamas protests happening all over the world, including India. You had it in Kerala, you had it in parts of Delhi, you had it at the Aligarh Muslim University. These are going to happen. But for Kerala, it is a larger problem, and this problem has been happening for the last several years of Islamic radicalism, and nobody wants to address it. The Kerala government, the political parties in Kerala, do not want to understand or even talk about Islamic radicalism. There is a huge difference between who is an Indian Muslim and who is a radical Islamist. That is the distinguishment that people are not being able to make. An Indian Muslim is someone who fights, who lives and dies for the country. An Islamic radicalist or an Islamic terrorist does not care which country he belongs to. That's why their playbook is the same all over the world. And then Muslims need to understand that the countries that have been, dealt with Islamic terrorism and Islamic radicalism are the countries in the Arab world that are most destroyed, economically, socially, all the time. Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. Look at those nations. They were thriving nations before. What are they now? Look at Palestine. Most of the Palestinian workers, about 19,000 odd Palestinian workers, were working in Israel. Why were they doing that? Israel was trying to create a unified approach towards dealing with the Palestinian problem. Israel is not only about the Jews. There are a considerable amount of other people that live in Israel. The Arabs, for one, the Druze, the other. These are people that have lived in Israel and for many years and are doing very well. So there was a peaceful resolution happening to the problem. Why are the Islamic radicals driving the same wedge in India? They're doing the same wedge in India because they want the Indian Muslims to feel that they are threatened, and therefore they have to react. And that is what they're trying to do. So I'm not going to say that the blast in Kerala linked to anything right now until the information happens. But it's not a coincidence that Kerala will see these kind of incidents. You have to put the nation on alert. Delhi, Maharashtra, they need to be on alert because the Islamic radicals are going to take an inspiration from what Hamas has done.
Absolutely.
Hamas wanted to fight a war, Vineet. They would have fought a war. They don't want to fight a war. They want to create a war.
Correct. That's exactly what they're trying to do here as well. Mr. Mani, what kind of a atmosphere can this be pinned on? Is it the solidarity that the government of Kerala has shown towards these radicals that has resulted in them having the gall to orchestrate such a crime?
I will take it from where Savio, my good friend, has left it. He made an understatement by saying that the state government political parties have been oblivious to the spread of Islamic radicalism. I would go to the extent of saying that they have been fanning the spread of, more than being oblivious, they have been fanning the spread of Islamic radicalism. Both the parties, at the helm of both the political combinations at the helm of the affairs, have been fanning the spread of the Islamic radicalism, which is very unfortunate. And they have not just been looking at the other side, but for example, the Honorable Chief Minister seeing to join rally in support of Hamas today is biggest giveaway to the fact that they had been, due to whatever their political interests are, whatever their appeasement policies are, or whatever it is, they have been fanning it, and let us be very clear about it. Not just this case, even in the case of whether the PSA was actively happening in Kerala, it was born there, it found its roots there, and when it was spreading its tentacles all over the place. At that time also, the political parties, without a political support, it could not have gone on to become such a big menace as it was when at the time of its ban. Similarly, there are other recruits to the ISIS have happened, from recruitment to ISIS have happened from Kerala, the highest, I think the most prominent state which has been sending its recruit to ISIS, both women and men. Women land up as sex slaves and whatever it is. At that time also, the government was inert, but it had also not been, it had been in some way or the other extending a help. This is in the context of there is no shortage of opportunities for the Malayalis, especially when you given the fact that they have a huge diaspora and a lot of good connectivity inside the Middle East where the entire thing is happening, and they would have easily landed up in job, and that is one of the reasons. So on an economic or a social front, there is no reason for any justification excepting not creating adequate opportunities could be a factor. Having said that, the question to what extent and what level they can go is again the matter, and that should have been curbed. See, it is not today that Kerala has become a highly radicalized state or Islamic radicalism has found it. It has found its bearing right from 2003 when the terror funding, ICA that Pailur or whatever branch happened and whatever terror funding had been happening, and that has been happening unabatedly all through the last 20 years or maybe beyond most. I am aware of its 20 years history. That is number one. Number two is there have been instances where in certain postal areas there have been intrusions, there have been infiltrations which have been happening, and also the money. And one of the basic reasons how it was triggered was, if you go to the genesis of the problem, is extreme level, high level of expat Kerala's trying to remit their money, use their Hawala channels instead of the formal channels, and that was one of the multiplying reasons, factors which has triggered this, because those days the difference between the formal rates and the hawala rates were quite big, and number two is the procedures involved in formal remission, transmission of money was also quite elaborate, and hawala was a sort of instant. So it all started from there, but we have gone far, far ahead of that. I'm talking about 2000s and 2002 and 2003. So that is, and that from there the terror funding, and from there the terror seeding, and from there the radicalism and all these things started having foothold in Kerala. This is one of the basic reasons. Number two is we have been in denial. Coastal part of southern India, not only in Kerala but also in Karnataka, especially the North Kerala Karnataka belt. We had an alarm in 2007 January when that Jalil Ahmed and that another Ahmed, his brother, was deported from Australia, and his one gentleman, very highly educated person, was trying to blow up the Glasgow airport. They all, because Mangalore to Kasargod or Mangalore to Kozhikode is not a very long route. It's all contiguous territories. Though it was also, at that time also, the government in power was always under the denial.
Right, but sir, the warnings when it comes to Kerala have always been out there for people to see. Mohammad Ali Shah, if you're there with us.
Right, thank you.
Ali, in fact, just a few days ago, a pro-Palestine rally in Kerala was conducted. In fact, Shashi Tharoor was the chief guest over there. In the month of July, an ISIS module was busted. And of course, we all know about that movie, which talked about how people from villages and the rural sector have been continuously and, against their will, converted to look at Islam from a different angle and perpetrate these crimes of hate. And just the fact, Ali, that this has happened and our Christian brothers have been targeted in Kerala makes it a very serious affair.
Right, Vineet, firstly, it's very sad, and I convey my heartfelt condolence to the bereaved family who have suffered, and I would tell them to just hold strong, and it is really very sad. I condemn this attack, this dastardly blast, ID blast, 3 of them, the blasts which took place. And whoever has done this is the biggest enemy of their own organization, who could have been the biggest enemy of humanity, I would put it this way. So the very fact is, whoever, because it hasn't been ascertained as yet who has done it, the police in Kerala has said to refrain from rumor mongering and social media posts and such things. So I will just say, whoever has done this, irrespective, whoever has done this is the biggest enemy of humanity. Now, having said that, a bit about Israel and Palestine, because you mentioned about there was a rally of Palestine happening. I totally concur with what Savio said. I think he spoke a lot of sense, and I am on the same page as with him, in fact, over here. People who support, and the trouble starts when they start supporting Hamas. What is the problem? Hamas is a banned terrorist organization.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.